Madi used to bring it.
That's it.
And
Yes.
they went into CFAO, and Shaib and Mahdi broke in and took all the ladders out. But
Yes.
I think we need to understand the context. You see,
Yes.
you were trying to explain 1994 and 1981.
Yes.
They're two different types of operation.
Different.
1981 was an operation based on ideology.
Yes.
The ideology was propelled by students of Kwame Nkrumah, who later turned to be disciples of Muammar Gaddafi.
Yes.
You know, in Gambia, a lot of people got scholarships to go to school in Ghana. And when they went to Ghana, they were converted to what is called Kurumis. Kurumis are people who believe in Kwame Nkrumah. Then what happened to Kwame Nkrumah, and he ended up going to Guinea and later died, most of them saw Muammar Gaddafi as the savior. So they ended up going to Libya. And the early warning sign of the coup happened in 1980. There's a guy called Ekundayo Mahoney. He was a commander in the field force.
The in-law
he
of
was
Sadauda.
Killed by Mustafa Danso.
Yes.
So when Mustafa Danso killed Ekundayo Mahoney, Mustafa Danso was jailed. So Kukoi, Kikala Balde, and his team, and some Moja, not the Moja, but there were some people they associated with Moja, but they believed in what Kukoi was doing.
Yes, so some of them were even arrested eventually. Yes.
Yeah, when the coup happened, it was not organized from leadership to the structure on the ground. So when Kukoi took over Radio Gambia, there were people in different areas. So now there was no structure. And when there was no structure, Gambia was suffering those days. And that is right before the ERP started. So feeding, everything was too hard. Gambia was going through hard times. And it was also in the rainy season when the country is at its worst.
Yes.
So when people saw the opportunity, whether it's an NTC, whether it's any type of shop, they broke into it. But when they broke into it also, the armory was also opened, and people who never knew how to use guns had access to guns.
Yes.
Then when this happened, the structure of the Gambia police force disintegrated. Then Inspector Mbub was the IG, I think. Some of the police, some of the police turned into rebels. What I mean rebels, they mutinied against the state. And civilians also took up arms, but they didn't take arms to help the rebellion continue. They took arms to get properties from people and shops and businesses. So while this was going on, Jawara was negotiating to come back to Gambia. But he was not negotiating on a strong footing because Senegal for the longest time wanted close collaboration with Gambia, but it was not being done in a fair basis. So Gambia never gave them the opportunity to make these things happen. Abdou Diouf saw this as a entry or a point to come into Gambia. What did he do? He told Jawara about the Confederation. Jawara accepted. His first troops that came by helicopter and planes. And you had people at the airport who were shooting them like birds before they even got on the ground. Then the second contingent came from Casamas through Brikama, coming towards Westfield. And those people came with what the French call chars de combat or armored tanks. They came at some point. The rebellion was still ongoing, but Kukoi got into a boat and was broadcasting like he was in the Gambia, but he was leaving. So by the time they realized Kukoi was no longer in the Gambia, they started rounding prominent people that were in there. Then after, Jawara came back, got installed by the Senegalese. That's how the Confederation came. And when this was happening, Jawara wanted to round up people that he believed were part of this or had prior knowledge. Sheriff Mustafa Diba was one of them. Sanjali Bojang was one of them. Alaji Suley Sar. So most of the people that were rounded up were prominent people. And if you understand Sanjali Bojang and you understand Jawara, there can't be a relationship that is so intimate. Because when the protectorate people were looking for a leader, there's a guy called Dr. Marena. When he was approached, he sent them to Jawara. But it was the likes of Sanjali Bojang who really made it happen. Because Sanjali Bojang was a mobilizer for labor, especially port labor in Banjul. So he was highly influential. But with all that, he was jailed and the prisons were full. They started using schools like Bakau School as a detention center. So a whole lot of number of people were detained. And this brought about the Confederation, the Senegambia Confederation. But the Confederation could not have lasted because it wasn't done out of equity, and Gambia did it under duress because Jawara's objective was to come home, and he could not have returned without the Senegalese. The Senegalese too, they put a price on their intervention, and that was cooperation. So Jawara reluctantly signed, and less than 2.5 years, the Confederation couldn't hold because Jawara was not fulfilling his part of the bargain, and he requested for the Senegalese to leave. Now, 1994. 1994.
Nyang, before you go to 1994, I just wanna add about the arrest of the because the people they arrest, apart from those who have held guns from the field force and the police, let's say the security services, there was this, I can say, opposition were antagonized because some of the opposition arrested for that coup, they have nothing to, they have
That's
not,
what I'm saying.
they have not been involved. Yeah, Sirif Mustafa Diba, Jibu Jany was in jail, Sirif was in jail.
Anyone who was close to Solo Dabo at the time.
And
Solo Dabo was the financier.
Yes,
I know. So Solo Dabo was the financier of
NCP.
Solo Dabo was the financier of